Funding for Chasing the Dream is provided by the JPB Foundation and the Ford Foundation.
Thanks for joining us for New Mexico in Focus. In a few minutes, I'll ask this week's line panelists what they think about the PAC spending in the Bernalillo County Commission race. And we discuss a recent hearing in Las Cruces where officials from the New Mexico Human Services Department pled the fifth nearly 100 times in a hearing about the management of applications for food assistance. But we start this week's show with a segment that's part of an ongoing public media reporting initiative called Chasing the Dream, Poverty and Opportunity in America. We're taking an in-depth look at the contemporary state of the American dream, the changing nature of jobs, the vanishing middle class, wage disparity, and economic opportunity. Tonight we learn about individual development accounts, and I'm joined by our correspondent, Megan Kamrick. Megan, good to see you.
Hi, Gene.
What is an IDA and who is it for?
IDA started in the late 1990s. A professor, Michael Sheridan, outlined the concept in his book, Assets and the Poor. And the idea is to put a level floor of assets under families. So the models vary around the country, but the basic idea is to help families get assets and learn to save. And you'll hear Ona Porter in our story say, income gets you by, assets get you ahead. So that's pretty much the key concept. In an IDA program, like Prosperity Works does, they do a 4-to-1 match. So the participants come in and save for a specific goal, and they have to go through financial capability training. So they save $1,000, and it's matched 4-to-1, and then they have $5,000 to invest in an asset, to buy a home, to start a business, to finish their education. Probably the biggest asset they've ever had. And along the way, they get tools to take them through the rest of their lives.
I have to imagine, we're a poor state, as we all know. We have generational poverty that we all wrestle with here. You certainly have in your endeavors here with New Mexico PBS. How does an IDA help a family, get ahead that way? I hear you on the 4-to-1 match, but that training part interests me. You have to know what to do with the money, it would seem to me, once the money comes.
Exactly. Well, I think actually a lot of us could benefit from going through the kind of financial capability training they go through. It's great that they get that $5,000 asset. What Ona said she has heard since they started this program in 2004 is, I never knew this. Why didn't anyone teach me this? Basic financial literacy. And I think we could say a lot of Americans don't have that, right? A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, more people than we really realize, especially after the recession. And we don't teach a lot of this in our schools. Just basic good finance and budgeting.
And financial literacy. Yeah.
So people tend to get behind, they never get ahead. That's why you can get more income. But when you have an asset you can hold on to, you can transfer to your children, that puts a level of security under you that many families don't have.
And I'm going to assume the idea is to stop that generational problem.
Yes.
With this particular generation, like you just mentioned, they teach their children some form of financial literacy.
Right.
And have a backstop of money to prove the point, so to speak.
Well, and we first explored this. I've touched on it on Public Square throughout the years. I've had Ona Porter on several times and recipients who got IDAs. But our last episode was called Ladders Out of Poverty. And I wanted to examine what are some ways to do this. And IDAs have, around the country, often been one of the most effective ways to do this. She said, on average, the people in their program emerge from poverty within 18 months.
Oh, wow.
So
I can't think of any other program where you can have that kind of result.
Right? Yeah.
Well, we're going to be hearing from some folks who are using IDAs through a group called Prosperity Works. Who is Prosperity Works and what do they do?
They started in 2000, and Ona Porter is the executive director. They have a couple of roles. They're also advocates for structural change. So they're doing this sort of this is structural change, what they're doing with the IDAs on the ground. They're also lobbying at the legislature around things regarding payday loans and title loans, because if you are not in the formal banking system, if you are unbanked, is the industry term, you pay more for a lot of things. That's why you're renting your furniture to own, and probably at very high interest rates. That's why you're going to a payday lender, and people often end up in a trap they can't get out of. So they lobby to change regulations on that, but then they're also doing this IDA program, and then in 2004 they launched something called Prosperity Kids, which is sort of taking that model, but the idea is a 2-generation approach. So these kids have a savings account, and they get a little money in that from Prosperity Works. They save Prosperity Works matches it to a certain amount. The kids get into the program because their parents enroll, in community leadership training and child development training through Partners in Community Action, one of their partners. They also do the financial capability training. So the idea is, one of the people who evaluated the program said children's savings accounts, when you have kids with a savings account with parents talking about the importance of savings for college, it shifts things in the household, and they tend to have much better outcomes in terms of finishing their education. And again, they're also being pulled into the formal banking system. The parents get an emergency savings account, and even that has a tremendous difference in terms of their feeling of security and their outlook.
I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine that. Who did you meet as part of your reporting for Chasing the Dream?
We met some of the kids with their piggy banks. They all get piggy banks, and they talked about saving. One boy wants to be a biologist. One little boy wants to be, he's like 4, an astronaut or a policeman. And we go to the bank with them. We meet Chris Fitzgerald at Rio Grande Credit Union, who was his group is instrumental in helping them launch this pilot program. And we meet Ona Porter, of course, who's been working in this field for a long time. We meet a guy who owns Bikesmith, who our bicyclists might know, and he helped expand his business with an IDA. We also meet Francesca Duran Lopez. She's really a remarkable young woman. She's a mom, and she used her IDA to finish her education. She has overcome a lot of challenges, and what you'll hear is the transformative aspect of this program through her and how it changed her outlook, put her on a different path from that of her own mother, particularly the financial education.
Growing up, my mother was a single parent of 3, and our monthly income was about $300 a month. 150 of that was our house payment. So 150 extra dollars, that was for everything else. We have a lot to be thankful for. It was really rough growing up. We never really were talked to about, this is your piggy bank, we're going to save this is extra money, we're saving for a college fund. It was just usually that resources were very limited, and my mom trying to gently explain to us why we couldn't have that.
Francesca was in the juvenile justice system for most of her time between ages 12 and 18. She became pregnant at 16 while she was out. Francesca wanted to provide a better life for her kids and felt like a degree was a key part of achieving that goal. She used an IDA to finish her undergraduate education.
Our belief is that income gets you by, but assets get you ahead. We're really looking at providing people with assets so that they can live their lives. Those are personal assets, social assets, and financial assets. And most programs really focus on taking the rough edges off of poverty. So they provide some food assistance, some housing assistance, utility assistance. All of those things are important, but they are not things that really help people move out of poverty.
The IDA program through Prosperity Works helps people plan to attend college, purchase a home, or start a business.
Close to 350 homes have been purchased across our state. About 500 people have done some level of post-secondary education, and that really has been from a Microsoft certification to a PhD. And there are also about 650 businesses that have been started and about 1,200 jobs created in those businesses.
This is my passion. This is where I love to be. So it was a mobile business initially for the first 2 years. And what I did was I operated out of basically my mother's garage and a storage facility where I kept the 20 some odd bikes at the time. I went to the Small Business Administration for guidance. And I spoke with a gal at SBA, and we were talking about the financing part of things in order for me to grow the business. And she had recommended that there was a program called the IDA program. By expanding our rental fleet to offer another category, it allowed us to generate additional revenue. The logical next step was for us to have a retail space Today, the Bikesmith is in a position where we have 2 full-time employees. We have a part-time employee, and then my wife and I. And it all started way back when, initially, when we were able to make that first expansion of our fleet.
It will help me with college.
In 2013, Prosperity Works started Prosperity Kids, using the IDA model to help hundreds of low-income kids start savings accounts that are matched up to $200 annually. It's not just about money, but a shift in focus for kids and families.
When the children open their accounts, everybody gets a piggy bank. And they're kind of excited about those piggy banks. And we've heard many interesting stories about the piggy banks, particularly from the mamas.
I have started 2 months and I already have completed 160.
I have about $100 and something saved.
Sally. They are thinking different. They are not just taking the money and spending in candy or toys. They are thinking and put part of that money for college.
I want to study how to play piano and be a chef. An astronaut or police.
I want to be a virologist.
Y porque ellos tienen más grandes alcancías.
And because they have bigger piggy banks, I am seeing that he is like, I want toys, I want toys. Not right now. Now it's better to put it here, and I don't want that now. That's the difference, because he sees the money in the bank for some other use.
The children's parents must take training courses in child development and financial literacy. Many of them have never had a formal bank account. Zuli Rodriguez took those classes and now trains other parents.
And I learned a lot, and I want to pass what I learned on other families.
Seeing the kids come in with their piggy banks is really a wonderful thing. And they come in and they bring out their cash, and I know how hard they've worked for it, and my staff is so excited to be able to help them out and to educate them on financial concepts, and that's really what it's about, because we're educating our future.
Many more families in New Mexico might qualify for these programs, but some are fearful about interacting with entities like banks. This is especially true in the South Valley, in families where the children were born here and are citizens, but the parents aren't.
A lot of the families are undocumented, so they want to be in the dark, in the shadows. So sometimes they just don't know how to open an account. So we are helping them, and they feel now comfortable because other people from the community are doing the same. They see other people opening an account, and they feel comfortable with that.
Most of the financial institutions do not cater to the immigrant population. They might not look at it as a profitable entity. We do. We think that we're building long-term members, and we're teaching individuals at an early age, and so to become comfortable with the banking system, so that when they are adults or even the parents now, they can have the opportunities to take advantage of equitably priced products and services, which unfortunately many of them aren't getting at this point.
By the end of 2015, there were 540 children with bank accounts totaling $25,000 they saved themselves. With matching funds, those have more than $100,000. Even though IDA programs are focused on the future, there are other financial concerns the program addresses, like emergency savings accounts for car repairs, medical bills, or other immediate needs.
So if you have no place to go when there is an emergency, then what happens is you go to a storefront lender. And when you get involved with a storefront lender, you get essentially in the ditch. The liabilities that are associated with that, with an average of 300% interest, are enormous and extremely difficult for people to climb out of.
I don't think I ever really drive through my community and ever see it the same. If I see a certain place that rents furniture or has payday loans, title loans, it immediately just kind of pierces my heart. I know why they're in my neighborhood. Because we are of low socioeconomic status. We need the credit.
Francesca says that after she went through the program, she started to see her future differently.
My eyes were opened in such a way that just changed my life forever. It was a beautiful experience to be thinking about how I mirrored my mother so much. Trying to do the best I could. Single parent, I was 26 years old. Same age as my mother when she bought our home. This time things were a little different though. I had a little bit more options. I had knowledge that I was able to go out and tell people what I wanted, what I needed, what I felt I deserved. I was able to shop around and, well, what interest rate are you gonna give me? But my credit score, I have a stellar credit score. I think I could get a better deal. You know, I was able to shop around. Truly, now I know what it means when they say knowledge is power, because I had that power.
Funding for Chasing the Dream is provided by the JPB Foundation and the Ford Foundation.